Greetings. My name is Eric Lang, and this is the latest installment in my YouTube channel, Author Eric Lang. This is a section from my latest book, Engagement, Focus, Intention, and Project Management. We'll be discussing people-centric project management phenomena. These are human psychology artifacts that impact project execution, velocity, and quality. They're very common. Everyone's experienced them. I've never found a way or a place that's written them all down in a form that could be understood or leveraged for improving your project management experience. So I went about writing a book with all of them in it. It's close to 80 people-centric project management phenomena using terminology that makes it easy for memory. And every week for the last 26 plus weeks, I've been doing one people-centric project management phenomena each week. This week's is going to be in person for maximum effect. This people-centric project management phenomena, like all of them, the realization that they exist, that it is a people-centric project management phenomena, and that this is one of them that other people are experiencing, that understanding is the first step in being able to incorporate tactics and strategies for dealing with people-centric project management phenomena in your day-to-day project manager experience. In person for maximum effect is self-descriptive. It literally means going and meeting with people in person. In today's direct messaging and email environment, everyone tends to just shoot off an email or send an instant message. And rarely do they take advantage of the impact that meeting in person can have. The minimal version of that is a phone call. The maximal version of that is an in-person meeting. And both of those have different roles in a project manager's experience. And it's important as a project manager to understand when the phone call is needed and when the in-person is needed, to be able to differentiate your communication portfolio between when you're going to direct message somebody, you're going to email somebody, you're going to call them, or when you're going to set up a meeting, or ultimately, if you're just going to darken their door unexpectedly. All of these have a different role to play in the project manager approaches. So you need to think about them and have a term associated with this so that when somebody asks you what you're doing and you say it's in person for maximum effect, they understand what you're talking about. Salespeople innately understand this and will often be mystified why people didn't just pick up the phone and call. There are many professions where picking up the phone and calling, or even more shockingly, just walking over and talking to someone, can be a little off-putting. It's just not part of how those roles work. But in the project management sphere, put aside that shyness and have a good grasp of when you're going to make the phone call, when you're going to set up a meeting, or when you're just going to walk over and try to catch them by the water cooler or in their cube unexpectedly. Or if you're going to bring this up in a meeting in the minutes after the meeting ends, but before everybody disperses. So you have to have a plan for this ahead of time, acknowledge when it's needed, and understand where the threshold is in your communications. There's a people-centered project management phenomena in the book called Defined Escalation. And this is when a project manager is trying to prompt action and it just doesn't happen. You send a direct message, nobody responded. You sent an email, it didn't happen. You sent a second email after a respectful period of time. And then you reach the point where you have to make a phone call. They refuse to accept the call. You set up a meeting. They refuse the meeting, set up another meeting, and this time you invite their supervisor and your supervisor. And that defined escalation sets this path for when the phone call is going to happen and when the in-person meeting is going to happen. And in today's dispersed environment, you could be working with people on the other side of the planet, where in-person for maximum effect is limited to video meetings and phone calls. But that's okay. Those are still in person. You can still see them. They can talk to you. There's so much context that happens. And then in terms of prompting attention and in taking that engagement and turning that into attention, which then results in focus and then execution in a project, That in-person for maximum effect is that first step to getting that engagement right. So again, as a project manager, be aware that there's a people-centric project manager phenomena called in-person for maximum effect. It's being able to discern between when an instant message, an email, a phone call, or an in-person meeting is necessary to provide the tension needed to get contributors focused and make the project move forward with proper execution. So that's this week's people-centric project management phenomena. We'll do this again next week. Please take a look at the previous 27 entries on these topics. Total in the book is approaching 80, plus some adjacent and tangential topics. Means I have at least 2 or even 3 years of videos before I get to the end of the material. I want to thank you for your time and have a great day.